Good morning. Yeah, I just got up. I look like I just got up. Of course, even like later on after I'm all cleaned up and ready to go wherever it is I don't go, I don't look much different. So good morning. How you doing? Wish I had some answers for you today. Fact of the matter is I have a lot of questions, but very few answers. Yeah, okay, here goes. These questions could be quite stimulating. I've always said that there's really three, depending on how you divide it out, maybe four answers to any question that are relevant. Now, irrelevant answers are, of course, irrelevant. Okay, you got, like, if you ask a question, did this or that, and the answer could be yes. The answer could be no. The answer could be, I don't know. Truly a sign of intelligence whenever you're able to say that. And of course, the ultimate answer is, I don't know. I'll find out and get back to you. Now, in most cases, what I'm about to propose are of the latter. If you can't figure out that, then, hey, come on, stay on. It's still entertaining. Where did we come from? Who are we? Where are we? What was here before us? All that stuff. Okay, I live in the southern part of the United States. You guys all know I live in Florida. And I live here, and I live on a farm-ish sort of a place out in the middle of the end of a dead-end street that is at the end of another maze of streets that will indelibitably, I like that, and it's a brand new word, by the way, lead you nowhere except here. All right, and my couple of lovely neighbors. So the point of that is, I'm ready. Bunch of acres, beautiful place, ponds, got a well, source of power if I need it, source of food if I need it. And in fact, I really don't have very many needs. I have me and my lovely wife live here, and we make it, right? Okay, here's the point. Now, that just says where I am. That has nothing to do with the world in general, or it might. We are ready for the end. Will the end come? And what is the end? There you go. There's a good question. We're going to start with that one. What is the end? My answer, according to my previous diatribe, is I don't know. And I would like to be able to say I'll find out and get back to you. Unfortunately, by the time that occurs, you'll have some idea of your own that will probably be more relevant. So, I don't know. Now, I do know this. I have studied history to some extent, as you guys know. And history tells me that where we are right now is so similar to the things that we've read about in history. The fall of what? The fall of Rome, the fall of the Third Reich, I don't care. The fall of civilization, the fall of the pre-Columbian civilizations in America, the fall of Greece and Egypt, and hey, how about that there Tower of Babel thing, huh? All right, so civilizations rise, civilizations fall, and they don't usually last all that long. Some of them more than others. Ours is, let's see, if you look at the U.S., you say, all right, we began our democratic experiment in 1776, which is roughly true. A lot went on before, a lot went on after, but the point of the matter is, that we kind of drew a line in the sand then and said, let's do this thing. And if you look at that, just off the top of me head, I would say if you're looking at 1776, that's well, you got what, 24 years in the 18th century. You got 19th and 20th century. That's a couple hundred years. Another 23 now. So 250 years. Yeah, ish. 250 years is like the real close to the average lifespan of any not civilization, but empire. And yes, we have built an empire, and yes, we are declining. And yes, if you look at the historical references, the decline of our empire is relatively very similar to the decline of every other one. So, and why wouldn't it be? Really. I mean, is something different? Are we different? Our weapon systems are different. But you know what? If you think about that, the weapon systems have always been different. They are whatever they are at the time, and if you got them, the other guys got them, or they're quickly. Excuse me, I apologize for that, but sometimes I just have to make a little adjustment. Anyway, but the weapon systems of you and your whatever you want to call them, adversaries, other guys, are usually either similar or coming into line with each other relatively quickly. So if you got bows and arrows, they got bows and arrows. If you got guns, they either have or will soon be getting guns. It's just the way it works. There's no weapon that man has, shall we say, invented. It's probably not the word I'm looking for, but has developed that has not been used. So that statement right there should scare the absolute remains from you. Anyway, so yeah, that's what it's coming down to. That's what it's going to be. Now let's take a look at okay, that's a big long-term view. That's things always kind of repeat. I like this phrase. It says, history may not repeat itself, or doesn't always, or however you want to put it, repeat itself so much, but what it does do is it rhymes. Okay, so you're pretty much always going the same place, but you might get there using a different implement. What am I trying to tell you? Nuclear war is inevitable. All right, it's just inevitable. It's not like maybe, what if, oh, we shouldn't. Yeah, all that's true. What is also true is the fact that it's coming. Now, is it coming today, tomorrow, next week, next month, 20 years from now? Can we hold it off for a long time? Can we go to the moon again first? I don't know. This thing is just really being a pain today. Anyway, I think we'll probably go to the moon first. But, is that, does anybody care? Well, some do. Some do a lot. You know who my favorite guy these days? Other than Donald Trump, who's, ever since I became aware of him, has been my favorite guy, which goes back a few years longer than most of you. Not because he's perfect, not because he's the Messiah, not because he's our Savior, not because he can blah, 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 blah. No. The reason he's like my favorite guy is because he says, look, this is what we're capable of. This is where we are. And this is how we can, in a business-like manner, use what we have. And he was the absolute best president, without, hands down, without any discussion necessary, the greatest American president ever. Now, you can agree with that, you can disagree with that. It's really irrelevant. Totally non sequitur. So, but, yes, it's true that he, in spite of all the negativity around him and all the pushes against him from forces, and I gotta say greater than him, because he's one guy, dude, really, I'm one guy, he's one guy. Think about this, and look what he's accomplished. Now, did he, people say, well, yeah, but the tweets. And I say, yeah, but who cares? Look at the results, and the results were fantastic. The idiot that we have in there now is a puppet, and I don't even like saying his name because it just gets my my biological yeah factors all out of whack. I just don't even like saying his name. But it's not him. It's those who control him, put him in place, blah 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 blah, and his entire, his administration, who is doing some. If you want to decide how his administration is functioning, just look at Mayorkas, and that will do it for you. Mayorkas could be like the modern day Joseph Mengele. And when you watch his ability to stoically look at a congressman and say the border is secure, do you just not know how to discern a lie? I mean, and once it's a lie, it's like, who cares what else the man says? This is like he's part of this organization is not the word I'm looking for. Sorry, I keep clearing my nose. It's bothering me today. But he's part of this thing. He is an easy way of looking at what's going on. Because Biden is surrounded by people who are dead set on the destruction of the United States. But that's not there. It looks like that to those who still support him. I say maybe you ought to take a good look at what's really going on. But even that pales in comparison to where we're going with all this. If in fact we have a fair election and Trump gets in 2024, it's going to be, hopefully, he'll surround himself with enough people to protect his life that he can actually get something done. And you're going to find that not only was he attacked before, but he's going to be attacked. Woo, boy, is that man going to get attacked. Yeah, we as a base, have to rally around him and support him and just say, okay, go get it, guy, big boy. You got a big bad dog. You own the junkyard, and he's the dog. You really don't like the fact that he's an attack dog. Yeah, okay. But you're not going to make it without him. All right, get it. Do it. If we don't get him back in and we get another repeat, hey, look at Chicago. Okay, we got rid of Lori Lightfoot. Yay! Ho ho! How good is that? And then we get this, may I say, jackass, who will just, make it worse. There's always somebody in the wings who's worse. Nah, they're there. They're always there. They have always been there. They will always be there. And we don't necessarily control how they get there. Dominion won I know, it seems like I'm shifting, but I'm not. Won a court case against Fox. And then, and you say, okay, well, no, we're talking like, 6 digit, 7 digit, 8 digit, 9 digit, 10 digit numbers, numbers that are just not only hard to comprehend, but just weird, crazy. So, and then a couple days later, they sacked Tucker Carlson and nobody's saying anything because, Tucker can't because he's under contract to not, but he will eventually. And Dominion is just, if you know that point, Dominion is the voting machine guys that as a whole were strongly instrumental in shall we say, subverting and therefore making the 2020 election a total sham. But they're not the only ones. They were the tipping point. They were the ones that put it over the edge, and they did it. And you can say whatever you want to say, but the fact of the matter is that election was stolen. It was absolutely, totally stolen. And that's a done deal. We have to deal with it. And the question is, if they did that one, will they do the next one? And the answer is, of course, they're going to do whatever it takes. But the way they do it isn't like, well, we're going to take over the vote. No. They come at it from 27 different fronts, and you can't figure out which one is actually the major front. And yeah, it's just going to get stolen. And that's all there is to it. Now, a massive surge of the American populace that has some idea that things were stolen from them will go and vote. And I hope and pray that they vote enough to just massively overcome anything. And, well, you get that idea. That's a whole nother rant. I could go on that sucker for hours, and that's not where I'm trying to go today. I'll go there another day. I'll go there anytime you like. Just leave me a comment. Oh, by the way, comments. Yeah, comments. Please, totally do this. You can get my Substack. You can get Rumble. You can get all this YouTube. You can do all the other media that I am a part of. But the point is, no matter what you do, it's gonna. How shall I say this? I need for you to like, share, and subscribe this thing. I need that. I don't need it. I don't need anything. I'm not going to be around that much longer. Although, hey, who knows? I'm a pretty stubborn guy. I might be around for a long time. But I need that because here's the thing. You guys look at it and say, well, you only got a few views. Got that. And you look at the comments on it, it's hardly any and all this stuff. But the thing is, what you don't know, what you absolutely, totally do not know, is that I constantly get thousands of emails where I get alerts of comments and such from you guys that totally do not get added into what you can see. So it looks like, oh, he's just some crazy guy that gets a couple of views and a comment here and there. That is absolutely, totally false. What's really going on is that the stuff that I tell you is so controversial that somebody, I don't know who, I don't know how, and I'm going to tell you that straight up because I actually don't. In a way I don't care, but in a way I do. Yeah, you know how that works. So please, overwhelm them. Comment. Comments are so cool. Like, so cool. Subscribe, so cool. Share, totally the way to do it. And here's the reason. Those things mess with their algorithm. Even though they suppress it, even though I get like 1,000 emails showing people commenting to me about any video, this one included, you look at the numbers and say, oh, he 5 people watched it and 2 commented. Yeah, right. That is absolutely, totally a lie. So please overwhelm that, and overwhelm that. Just do those 3 things. And like, share, subscribe. Like, what is it? Like is like totally cool. That one's hard for them to mess with. Share, that's absolutely impossible for them to mess with. Subscribe. I have an 2 orders of magnitude higher number of people who watch, subscribe, or however get a hold of these videos than the number of subscribers show. So just letting you know that. So when you're looking at this and you're saying, well, what's going on here? It's huge. All right, it is absolutely, totally huge. Now, what's really going to happen next? Boy, do I wish I could tell you that. No, I do. I honestly wish I could tell you that. So the part that I can tell you, and will tell you, is that it's going to get worse. Okay, let's pick any topic. Hunter Biden, pick that. Oh, that's a good one. Hunter Biden's laptop. God bless, I love that. If the news, mainstream news, oh God bless, these people are just. I mean, they get told what to do and they do it. But the question is, who's telling them and what are they telling them? If the world knew what was in that laptop before the election, which by the way was available, that Biden would have gotten like 12 votes and Trump would have gotten the rest. It's just all you have to do is look at that, and it's not what Hunter did, although it's bizarre and obtuse and all those other things as it is. The point isn't that. The point is that his dad was the patsy. His dad was arranging all of these business deals with his son, bringing his son to Ukraine and to China and everywhere he went, and it wasn't what you think it was. It wasn't about trying to build some base of leftist blah blah blah. No, it was about putting money in Joe Biden's pocket, and it was done in a way that put Hunter in there as a tool. And Biden. I mean, think about this. Just think about it for a second. Biden. Do you like him? I don't. I don't. He's his son. Now, this part I do know about. You mess with my son, you mess with me. Okay? And that's just the way it is, and it's the way it will always be. You mess with my daughter, you're messing with me. That's the way it will always be. Now, if my daughter are doing something that is totally wrong, you're still messing with me if you mess with them. Now, they may have to pay their own pipers, and so, I had to pay my own piper, whether my dad liked it or not. God rest them. So, that's not so much the point. But the point is, these guys were more than father and son in the matter that it was a business deal, wherein Hunter was the active ingredient in the tip of the spear, and Joe just used him. Now, there you go. He used his drug and hooker-addled son to run these shows, which Joe even knew that this was like a recipe for disaster for him and his family. But on the other hand, it was so lucrative that he just said, "Okay, fine, go do it. Go do it. We'll have millions, and all's good. And yes, I'm the big guy, and yes, I know about everything you're doing, and you traveled with me on taxpayer-funded what do they call it? Air Force Two, if he's on it, back when he was vice president, and now Air Force One. He just went to where did they go? Ireland. Okay, so what the King of England's being inaugurated, whatever they call it, seated upon his throne, and meanwhile, a couple hundred miles away, Biden's visiting Ireland. Do you think there might be something weird going on there? I know I do. But what's weird, that might be a whole nother thing. We probably won't even find that out if we ever do. It could be a decade. And the point is, let's see, what did Biden say? Hunter is the most intelligent man he's ever met. His own son, who, the drug-addled porn guy, and he very well may be. Hunter may be one of the most intelligent geniuses that ever lived. How would I know? What evidence do I have one way or the other? Well, the fact that he's not been put in jail tells you that somebody's pulling something somewhere. And therein lies the search. You find the point where the person who's pulling something somewhere, the whole thing falls. And so that's what they're going to cover. They're going to keep that covered. Now, what does this mean for the country? Okay, for the country. For the country. Yes, I love this country, and I love how it was founded. I love so many things that people took chances, people staked their lives and died for us. And there are people that I want to say on the left, God bless, dude, how can they possibly support statements that are anti everything? I mean, it's like, okay, you're white, you're bad. Okay, well, I guess then I'm bad. You're black, you're a victim. Well, if I happen to be black, lots of black friends, guys. By the way, guys, look, do I love black guys? It's not like that. I know a lot of black guys that I love, and I don't notice that they're black. Please, I mean, which way you want to go with this? I don't give a whole hoot of nothing about where you came from. I care about where your heart is today. And if your heart's with Jesus, me and you, we're like in. We're totally in. And we can disagree with anything you want to disagree with, but as long as we start with Jesus as the basis of that argument, we can go anywhere. We can have fun, and we can enjoy each other, and love is the answer. Love is in the air. Right. I mean, come on, people. We are people. We are a people. We are a race. This race thing is stupid. Although, it might be. I'm going to do like Joe. It might be stupid, but it's very effective to cause people to be divisive. Would you guys like to meet Chloe? Chloe just came to say hi, Chloe. Tell everybody hi. Hi, everybody. I love you, Chloe. You're my girl. Oh, yes, I love you so much. Okay, Chloe's good to me. She's a good girl. All right, now. Yes, I'm petting Chloe. People, race, whatever. This is so stupid. But when you try to analyze how to deal with it, it's stupid. But when you use it as a tool for divisiveness, it has its own effectiveness that really bothers me a lot. It really does. It's like, African descent. Did blacks own slaves? It turns out the first slave owner in the Americas was black. Does that matter? Well, maybe. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Indians. Here's a good one. 1491. Does that mean anything to anybody? 1491. What is it? Just like Rax? Where are you going with that? 1492 is when Columbus appeared. And Columbus never got to North America. He just 4 voyages, and he never got past the islands in the Caribbean and around that area. 1491 would be they never heard of him. But the fact of the matter is, things have been going on that we don't know about. I mean, the people got here somehow. Samoans were traveling in canoes all over the Pacific, and they made it. Some of them made it, some of them disastrously ended. I mean, come on, think about it. But things were going on. The entire Amazonian region held a population that was greater than Europe. And we look at the Amazonian rainforest and say, oh, it's the lungs of the earth. Well, yeah, to an extent, yeah. Global warming is related to all of that, and that's, God bless, I try not to say these words, but BS. Here's the thing. The swings in the temperatures and those things that are measured so that Greta Thunberg and AOC and a few other idiots can scream and cry and say how dare you are those swings are naturally way higher than what they're talking about might kill us all by 2030. It's just totally ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. It will remain totally ridiculous. Now, for those who say, well, yeah, well, you can say that if you want. Okay, here's something you guys, some of you know, a lot of you know. I personally am a graduated chemical engineer with a strong background in environmental studies, which I got in like 1980, which was I was like 30 then. You know, I went out, I did a little college, did a little crazy stuff, owned a few businesses, and then went back to college and got a degree. And then I said, even back then, it's like, well, you need to declare a minor, so I declared my minor as environmental studies, mainly because I didn't have a lot of time. I needed to get out. I needed to get out quick, and that was the quickest out. Just the way it was. Who knew that Rax Frizzle would have a chemical engineering degree with a minor in environmental? So when I talk to you about stuff, I'm talking to you from a position of great strength. And I'm going to tell you this right now. What you're hearing on the news, you know, any way you want to go with carbon's bad, coal's bad, oil's bad, natural gas is bad. That's all Biden. That has nothing to do with reality. That is total BS. We have, although I'm not going to tell you that man has not had an effect on the climate or on the temperature of the earth. Well, it hasn't really had any effect whatsoever on the temperature of the earth, and it's kind of totally impossible that we would ever do that. We have had an effect on what you call climate, you know, local winds, local temperatures, local this, local that. Yeah, I get that. Desertification, which is, by the way, greatly being reduced. It looks like in a matter of a couple of decades, we can take the Sahara and turn it into a forest. And we know how to do that. And it's really not as difficult as you like. And I love that technology. I actually practice it here. Not because I'm trying to change the planet. It's actually kind of fun. So, noting all this BS, and how it's used, it's time to start waking up, people. It's time to start waking up. You think about what FJB, right? Yeah, Brandon. There you go. What did Brandon do on his first day? He shut down Keystone Pipeline, and then he said, "Oh, and this pipeline we're building from Russia, that they are building, you know, whatever they're going. The one was already running, and he said, they can't have that if they're going to. You don't want Russia to supply Germany with fossil fuel, natural gas. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy town. Germany is a mechanical powerhouse. They are unrivaled in their ability to produce engineering solutions to really hard problems. They beat the Japanese out on that one. And the Japanese are, you know, they know about quality. The Japanese, quality. And the Russians, they just have a lot of natural resources. And if you ever followed some Russian people, just old people that I call them Russian rednecks. You know, the ones that they just happen to live in Russia. You know, I mean, I happen to live here, they happen to live there, whatever. And those people are cool. They are fun. They're cool. They're inventive. They're strong. And I just love them to death. Does that make me a Russian? And what do they call him? Russian influence, right? No. What that makes me is a guy that really recognizes people that have something that's universal to people. Yeah. A love of family, a love of God, a love of people. and the need to survive. The need to survive is going to surpass anything. On your deathbed, your body, no matter what your desires are, no matter what you've told your body your desires are, your body is going to try to survive on your deathbed. Your last breath is going to be your body trying to survive on your deathbed. That's not just me saying that because I'm obviously got some issues going on here. It's just the way it is. It's everybody all the time. Yeah. For those who are wondering, I have pulmonary hypertension, which is basically, let's just cut to the chase here, it's basically lethal. And what does modern science have for me? They have this oxygen tube, which without it, I probably wouldn't make it from here to the bathroom. With it, it's not like I can live a, whatever, lifestyle. But I'm here. I'm talking to you. I love you. Stuff like that. And quite honestly, I could be on tomorrow, and all this isn't going to change a whole lot. I got some burning in the eyeball here. Not sure what that is. You guys ever get that? It's like all of a sudden your eyeball, like as if somebody blew pepper in your eye. Anyway, so if I'm standing here with one eye closed, it's not because like anything's really seriously wrong. It's just, yeah. All right. So back to civilization. Are we on a decline? We've always been on a decline. We've been on a decline since the Garden of Eden. Does sin have an effect? Absolutely. Adam and Eve used to walk in the garden at night and talk with God, and imagine what those chats were like. The garden was designed in such a way, and that part still is maintenance free. Leaf litter everywhere, the trees, the plants, the fruits, the vegetables, the things that they ate. That all just happened automatically. And it still does, if you think about it. You think like you're a farmer and you do this, that, you aren't doing squat. All you're doing is God provided all these things, and you're trying to find a good way to manipulate them to feed yourself. And God love you. I want you to feed yourself. I want you and your family and your friends and your country and your nation and your world to feed themselves and be productive. Because one of the commandments of God was to be fruitful and multiply. So, yes, you got to do that. You are designed to do that. Your body will do that automatically, even if you try to not. So, commandment of God, or what you are invented to do. That's what you were invented to do. Were you invented? Are people invented? Did God invent people? Well, yeah. Why? I don't know. If you know, I'd love to hear the answer to that. I mean, I got some suspicions. And, they say God is love and all this stuff. That might just be the whole thing. God is love. So when we start destroying ourselves, as we're doing, destroying our country, as we're doing, and we start blaming Joe Biden, as we do, and some people will, I actually know people right now that still say that they support Joe Biden and that they think, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I apologize for that. It's really bugging me. Anyway, these people that are saying that have not really, well, what can I say? I could say they have not, looked around a bit, but on the other hand, maybe they have. Maybe they know more than me. There's some side of this that says that's not true. But here's what's going on. Here's what you need to do. What do you need to do? You watch this now for, the back half of half an hour, and if you got this far through, I not only applaud you, thank you, and give you my humble appreciation nod. Here comes humble appreciation nod. Here's the gig. Here's what you get for watching this long. It's time to wake up. It's time to get up in the morning and say, what is going on in the world? Because you just open your eyes and you say, okay, world, here I am. Okay, I'm awake now. I had this really cool dream I didn't get to finish, but I'm awake right now. And you say, okay, what's first? Okay, here's what's first. Lord Jesus, thank you. Thank you for this day and the day before and the day after. Thank you for life. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for the revelations you've given me. Thank you for the revelations yet to come. Thank you for an understanding. Thank you for putting a love in my heart for my fellow man. Thank you for helping me to discern that that love for my fellow man includes, yes, it does, includes, boy, this one's a hard one, includes allowing them to have their own opinion. It includes an unrestricted, unfettered, no lack of free flow love for those who disagree with you. And the reason I go into that more than, gee, the guys I can easily love. Well, if you can easily love somebody, just kind of love them, you know. It's the ones you're having a problem with that are going to require you to take action to continue loving them. Now, how you do that, that's, you know, that follows lots of possibilities. If somebody is trying to hurt you, is physically out and out trying to hurt you, which I'm going to tell you is relatively few, but it occurs, and you love them, you're going to be heaping hot coals on their head. If somebody is trying to hurt you because they are being directed by another force other than themselves, which could be just about anything, the baseline is they may actually love you. Let's not throw that one away. Please don't throw that one away. If somebody actually loves you and they're being directed by an outside force to show the exact opposite, where's your duty? What is your duty at that point? Your duty is to love them back and to continue loving them back until hopefully, and I say hopefully because it doesn't happen all the time, but to hopefully find out not so much what's causing them to respond the way that's almost irrelevant. What you're really looking for is why they love you. And once you find that, you know, stick on it. Stay on it. Is it a family bond? Is it a friendship bond? Is it a respect bond? Is it an admiration bond? These all exist. And the people that irritate you the most probably have the strongest bonds trying to love you. And you can take that however you like. Not sure how to do it. I wish I knew how to do it better. I don't always. But nonetheless, just love them and say, Lord, what can I do? What would you have me do? And oftentimes the answer is little to nothing, because he already did. So that's how you deal with that. Now, you see, what I'm trying to get at here, and what may have escaped this entire video, is that also is relevant in communities, in countries, in races, in denominations, in the world. It's the same basic structure that allows us to, if we decide to say there is a common bond, there's a common goal, and we have totally missed it, and there's a good chance that we're going to be judged harshly for it. just don't go there. Allow that which was created to form a more perfect bond between you and your Creator to be the most important aspect of your life, and everything else will fall into line. What am I trying to tell you? Love God. Love God with all your heart. Thank Him daily. And allow those things that are occurring in the world that you view to occur without your participation. And except for that, your participation would be one of total love of your God, total love of yourself, total love of your spouse, total love of your children, total love of the rest of your family, total love of all your friends and acquaintances, whether you like them or not, total love of your country, and support of your country through thick and thin, even though your country may be led by people who are not on board. Don't let that bother you. Don't let that bother you in the least. There are things going on in the news every day. I mean, I can talk about this stuff. I can talk about Trump. I can talk about Hillary. I can talk about Joe Biden. I can talk about Hunter Biden. I can talk about Obama. I can talk about Big Mike. I mean, I can talk about anything you want to talk about. Well, I can talk about it. I don't know that I'm on board on all of it. Some of it just kind of totally amazes me. This is the world we live in. Economically, this country is poised to surrender to the world. And the point isn't why, how, or when. The point is that's the way that empires crumble from within. What are you to do? I'm going to tell you now. You've waited this long. I'm just going to tell you. Ride the wave. There is a wave. The wave is going down. It's crashing downward. But you can ride that wave. Your life is quite tenable. It'll come, it'll go. Your effect is quite normally minimal. Some people have more than others. However, if you think your life is going to have this really great effect, if you weren't here, someone else would be doing whatever it is you're doing. If you weren't here, somebody would be doing things that you don't like. Some people would be here that are doing things that you do like. What you leave behind is rather irrelevant. Love your children. That is probably, I'm going to tell you this straight up, that is probably the most difficult task that we've been given. Love your children. That does not mean condone your children. That means love your children. Loving your spouse is a commandment, and quite difficult at times. At times, quite simple. I mean, let's face it, we've been given a tremendous desire to have a loving, peaceful coexistence with our spouse. The world would come against that in 1,000 ways, and when they do, unfortunately, they're often successful. Don't look at me as the model. Straight up, I've been married 3 times. This is not a fact that I am in any way proud of. Marriage is sacred. And I know this. I have deep feelings about this. And I know that going against that is um, a sure path to destruction. Don't go into marriage lightly. Don't go into marriage expecting that it's going to work out. Go into marriage because you first loved your Creator, you second loved yourself, and you third loved your spouse. And if you do that, you'll be okay. No matter what happens, you will be okay. Now, am I okay because of these three? Well, let's not talk about people. Obviously, something went wrong somewhere. I'm certainly not going to deny that. But I will tell you that I can only deal with what's going on today. I cannot in any way affect, change, or otherwise direct what occurred in any moment past this one, in the past. My current wife is the love of my life. I would have it no other way. And she has the most unbelievable challenge to love me back. Why? Well, because you're talking to Rex Frizzle here. She has her own family to take care of, which is, I asked your prayer. But don't we all? I mean, parents get decline, and children have a rightful duty to support them during that period. Siblings decline, and you have a rightful duty to support them during that time. There are family members who pitch in. There are family members who don't. And there are family members who somehow have gotten it in their mind that being resistant to love and its obvious benefits just somehow have missed the boat and somehow being influenced from outside. So you have all this going on, and then you have the one woman who I have ever had the great benefit, the great luck of the universe, the great divine intervention of the entire world to have known is currently my wife. And there are people who would look at my dear wife and say, fairly common, fairly plain, fairly many things. But those who have known her for a long time know that she is extremely close to God. And even that causes her significant difficulties from time to time, mainly because how can you possibly be close to God and still deal with all these issues going on around you? Well, dear one, I love you. I love you. You're an amazing woman. There are very few that I have ever met. Well, quite honestly, you're the only one I ever met that was as deeply in love with another man. His name, of course, is Jesus Christ. And I hold no problem with that. So, didn't mean to put you on the spot like that, but here you are. You're almost an hour in. If you watched it this far, You're already amazing, but at least you got to hear me say it. How long do I have? I don't know. I'm already a good 6 months past the early predictions on how long I might possibly be on this earth. So each day is, yeah, call it what you like. I don't know. I can do a little bit some days. I can do a little bit more other days. In general, I get up, I have my coffee. I say, well, I think I'd like to do 1,000 things. Today, I have these lists that I write. I'm famous for them. I rarely even get close to attempting to begin the first one on whatever list I make. However, the lists are still important. That's right. Because here I am living in what I would call paradise. A lot of people would miss that. They don't understand it. And that's okay. I don't mind that. I still have these desires, I have this really cool pond that's secluded in the back part of my property that is surrounded on 3 sides by hillsides that are grown up, and then the other side kind of goes off into a basin that heads towards the Perdido River, which goes to the Gulf. So in general, once you get there, that one little road that can get you there, what road, it's not even a road, it's barely a path. And then all of a sudden, you can hear angels singing around this place. My desire is to build a raft and float out into the middle of that raft, hopefully with a certain amount of solar power, so that I can, run it around with a little, what do they call it, trolling motor, and have a cover over top of it, and sit out in the middle of that pond and play my cello. That's like the ultimate place for me to enjoy life. Yours is probably different from that, and that's okay. I mean, that's like, yay, go. That's mine. That's where I would like to go. I don't know if I'll actually ever achieve that. I've got most of the stuff to do it. I just don't have the what do you call it? Well, by the time I get up, make coffee, go to the bathroom, and make a video, that's like 90% of my day. So the other 10% is towards heading that way. So I love you. God loves you. History is repeating itself over and over and over again. Be prepared. If you're not, you'll be in the majority. Yeah. Personally, somehow I got through this whole pandemic thing by taking my monthly ivermectin and drinking tonic water. How did that get me through the pandemic? I have absolutely no idea. It just seems to have done it. I've never had it. If anybody comes out with another vaccine, I'm pretty certain I won't be taking it. I give thanks to having a wonderful governor named Ron DeSantis, and I thank the Lord for Donald Trump. And between who does what in that field, I'm leaving it up to those guys to do whatever it is they do. There's a Democrat. Let's get that straight. It's not the Democratic Party. It's the Democrat Party. The ones that were in favor of slaves and the KKK. Let's not forget the underpinnings here. They will do what they do. The Republican Party has its own skeletons. Donald Trump, I hope you get to see this, because I'm going to tell you what, Don. You could have anything you want, and you chose to fight for the people of this country. And that touched my heart in a way that it just hasn't been touched before. You are a man who loves freedom, this country, and the ability of people, be they of this country or any other, that you believe in their ability to govern themselves and do a very good job of it. You just stating that puts you in a position of having some serious enemies. I come against those enemies right now. In the name of the Lord Jesus, I come against the enemies of this country, of this society, of this people. I come against those who would disseminate lies. I come against the lies themselves. And I ask you to bless our country. I ask you to bless our people. I ask you to bless this falling earth until the time that you come to reclaim your bride, which if I see, I will be exquisitely happy. And if I don't, I'll be with you shortly. Lord Jesus, bless my friends. Bless those who watch this. Keep them safe, Lord. Do not allow the enemy of our people of this earth, our people who are scattered throughout countries and regimes who would try to eliminate you as their sovereign God. I come against the spirits of homosexuality. I come against the spirits of child molestation and child murder in the form of abortion. I come against those spirits that would pervert the minds of your people. I ask your forgiveness, and I pray your mercy on the people who you love, Lord. In the name of Jesus, I bid you farewell. Farewell? Nah, I bid you hello.